to half the distance between nose and earlobe. That's how deep it is. So you go in that Decron swab, go to reference lab, and then using PCR machine, polymerase chain reaction to do it. Okay, the transport media, Reagan lower transport media. So CDC has to record this. So the transport media, then do the PCR test. Or the fluorescence PCR test. And this passage is also growing slow. So you can identify immediately using PCR test to send it to the CDC lab. They'll do the further identification based on their database to see is there similar or there's a different. Okay. Also, we need to know this purposes there is the incubation period of time. It's not you get infectious, you're gonna get it immediately. Talk about 7 to 14 days, 2 to 3 weeks sometimes. And the initial is cold-like symptoms, but then you have a mucous membrane system. Now, why it will cause whooping cough? This is something they say is AB toxin. They will because the mucus is kind of the ATP not generated. And the AMP cyclated becomes CAMP. This is, I will mention later. AMP in the host cell usually becomes ADP, then go to the ATP. If some of the toxin to prevent that process and activate the cyclase, which means AMP becomes CAMP. It's like the money is locked in your jaw and you cannot use it. It will cause all the problem. And the mucus is, from the molecular standpoint or biochemistry standpoint, is because the CAMP is dramatically increased inside of the cell. So that's why it will cause the whooping cough. We will talk about this later in the exam 3. Lots of examples for that. Okay. Now, what will be the symptoms? What will be the treatment? Antibiotics, of course. But best way is immune. Okay. So this is what we're going to end up today. But next week, we're going to go back to review these slides and we talk about streptococcus. So here is the thing. After exam 1, I believe most of you did good. Don't forget about it, because lots of the basic information we will be carrying on to the examination 2. Talk about all these passages. And there is also a lab which is a little bit comprehensive for the nasopharyngeal swab for your bacteria in your nose area. We'll work together with your bench partner. We'll talk about that. So we're going to review these slides later, okay?